So I want to tell you a little bit about my friend Justin and how Justin found Jesus and why old guys matter. You know, especially in 1 John, but lots of places in the Bible, you've got God telling the older men to talk to the younger. You have elder guidance and elder wisdom, which of course is not just an office, it's older people, older men teaching younger men. And Justin, like a lot of guys, grew up in a hard life, didn't have a really strong relationship with a dad and father figures, and it's tough. But Justin made friends with some old guys. He's from a small town in West Texas, and he worked for a while with an elder at one of the churches in that small town. Got his degree, got a job teaching school, but life kind of blew up on Justin in some ways, and he decided he really needed help, guidance, wanted to find out this whole Jesus thing. And so Justin called 3 men he trusted, all men older than him, father figures, if you will, elders. Oddly enough, one of them is an elder at a church in West Texas. One of them's about to become an elder, and one of them was an elder. So he called his friend Phil, who he used to work for, and went to Phil and said, I need advice about Jesus and life and how to be a better dad. And they talked about the part Jesus would play in that. And he went to his friend Jackie and said, Jackie, I want to talk to you about where my life is, and can you give me some advice and some guidance? And Jackie and Phil both spoke truth into Justin's life and talked to him about what Jesus had meant to them and how they were better dads because of Jesus and how Jesus made everything different in life. And Jackie and Phil did that for Justin. Justin called me. Justin said, Steve, I know you preached down here when I went to church some, and you asked me to talk about Jesus, and I really wasn't interested, but I want to set a different direction for my life. So could we meet, and could you talk to me about life and about Jesus? And so he drove up from Winters, Texas, and I drove over from Abilene. We met in a coffee shop on the edge of Abilene several times and just drank coffee and talked about what it means to be a believer and told stories out of Scripture about how to follow Jesus, shared stories with Justin of people I knew that had made decisions to follow Jesus. And so he heard Jesus stories, had a lot of people praying for him, got a lot of life advice, and heard a lot of father figures talk to him about what it means to follow Jesus. So this past Sunday afternoon, we drove down to Winters, Texas, and Phil baptized Justin into Christ. And one of my favorite pictures that I'll have for a long time is a picture of Justin standing with me and with Phil and with Jackie. And so I tell you this story for a couple of reasons. One is, if you're a younger guy and your life isn't quite working out and you want it to be a little better and you want some insight about how to make Jesus real in your life and how to be better as a family man and how to be better as a person, and you want to know if Jesus fits, find an older Christian man. Let them be a father figure to you, because there are guys out there that are really good at that, and Justin had the courage to do that, and he asked the right guys. I want to tell you, older guys, be like Jackie and Phil. Look for opportunities with the younger guys to speak truth into their life, to share with them Jesus stories. Be like me, be ready to share with someone because you love them and you love Jesus, and it really does make a difference. Justin has changed his life forever. Phil said what a great thing it was because Justin's 3 kids were there to watch him be baptized into Christ. They're pretty young and they may not remember it well, but Phil pointed out what a great thing it is, because a lot of us obviously never saw our parents become Christians because they were baptized well before we were born. But he saw that, and his kids will always know that. So thanks to the old guys. If you're an old guy, make yourself available. If you're a young guy, look for them, because they really do know how Jesus and life works together. And the only down note to the whole weekend, they were talking about father figures, and someone said, man, it is so great that Phil and Jackie were such good father figures to Justin. And Steve, we're really glad you were like a grandfather figure to Justin. And you know what? That's okay too. This is Steve Ridgell, being glad there are old men to show us all how to follow Jesus better. And thank you, Justin, for listening, and I hope God blesses your walk for a long, long time.